Yo, we back with another NFL Power Rankings tier list. This tier list will be post week 10 for week 11. This is the most accurate tier list you could ever get. A lot of good teams lost this week. They're not going to move down too far in the tier list. I mean, some bad teams won this week. Let's get right on into it. Please like the video, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Lots of new content coming soon, I promise. No broken promises here. Yeah, let's get right on into it. I'm gonna start with the worst team. The worst team, is it the team without a win? No, it's not. It's the team that won week 1 and hasn't won since and have looked so bad. So bad. It's the Houston Texans. I thought once Tyrod Taylor came back, let me turn this down, that they would really turn things around, but it just hasn't happened so far. And yes, I think the winless Detroit Lions are better than the Houston Texans. It's debatable. I just can't find myself putting the Texans any higher. I love Houston. It's a great place. I'm from Texas. But yeah, Houston is right there, comfortably at 32. Next up, though, we will throw Detroit right here. They haven't won this year. They are coming off of a tie, a draw against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 16-16. It was a rainy game. It was a very strange game, honestly. Not much entertainment value at all. 5 quarters of nothing, essentially. But they didn't lose. But they did not lose. This is a team that they'll win a game this year. They've been in lots of close contests, some blowouts, but they'll win a game this year. Unless they're smart, then they will not win a game this year. And they will get the number 1 overall pick. And could you guess who's going to go right above Detroit? You could probably guess it's one of these two teams. It's going to be the Jets. Now, the Mike White-led Jets, the beginner's luck wore off. Mike White looked awful this week. But they played the Buffalo Bills. Everyone looks awful against the Bills. It's okay. It's okay, Jets. There's always next season, man. There's always next season. I did see that Joe Flacco is going to be starting at quarterback this upcoming week, so we'll see how that goes for them. Corey Davis is back. Zach Wilson is still injured, apparently. They're trying to get him 100% healthy before he's back out there. So yeah, Joe Flacco will lead them this week. We'll see if they can get a win. Not much to say about the Jets. Right above the Jets, we'll throw the Jags, the Jacksonville Jags. Not a good team at all. They did beat the Buffalo Bills last week. I still, I'm not going to move them very, very much higher. I don't think they deserve to be higher, honestly. They're still not a good team. A lot of young players, though, to be fair. We're going to throw the Miami Dolphins. Another team with a big upset win this week. They defeated the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday night. Feels like ages ago. It really does. But somehow they won. They played decent defense. They're looking, maybe they can win a couple games. They have a favorable matchup this week against the Jets, one of the few teams lower than them in my power rankings. So, who knows? Maybe the Dolphins can go on a 2-game win streak. That'd be impressive. I still don't know if they'd move out of this tier. Perhaps they would. And above the Dolphins, another team that got an upset win this week, man. The Washington football team defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they had a drive in the 4th quarter of this game that lasted for 19 plays and iced this game. They said, we are not giving Tom Brady the football back. We're going to take this one. We're going to run this clock. We're going to win this football game. And that's what they did. Congrats to the football team. Maybe they've realized some things in their bye week because they were coming off the bye. Maybe this team can turn things around in the second half of the year. I don't see them making a playoff push, but who knows? This team could still be fine next season. And that's the thing about this bottom tier is all these teams, they're out of contention this year, in my humble opinion. I don't think it's even debatable. But yeah, shout out to Washington. This is a team, I mean, their hopes of this season are probably done, but this is a team that was flooded with injuries throughout the season. Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, Daniel Jones at a point, Darius Toney, Sterling Shepard. They had their bye week last week, so who knows? Maybe they come out of the bye, they get Saquon back, and things start going up for this team. But yeah, the New York Giants are going to lead off the almost there tier. Right above the Giants, we have the Atlanta Falcons. This is a team that got destroyed by the Dallas Cowboys. It wasn't even close. They were actually a wild card team going into this week before they lost to the Cowboys. They were the number 7 seed in the NFC. They, of course, got overtaken after they lost. And now they might be last place in the NFC South. Pretty good division, to be fair. But, I mean, not much to say about the Falcons. They lost some of their best players. Calvin Ridley. It seems like Cordero Patterson had a little bit of an ankle issue. We'll see if he plays this week. And then teams are just, focusing on Kyle Pitts, really shutting him down. And this team doesn't have much to offer other than that. So, above the Atlanta Falcons, we'll go with the Chicago Bears. They're coming off of a bye week. They didn't play last week. Justin Fields is kind of coming together. The week before their bye, of course, they had this weird game against Pittsburgh where the refs were blatantly one-sided calling this game. The Bears got screwed out of some bad calls. Next up, we got the Seattle Seahawks. This pains me, man. They got Russell Wilson back. Perhaps he just wasn't ready. I know they played in a cold tundra in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. They got shut out against the Packers. They didn't look good. Maybe Russ gets healthier and healthier. Maybe this team can rally off a playoff run, but I don't see it, man. I hate saying it. I don't see it. Ahead of the Seahawks, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. This team, I feel like they either blow teams out or they lose close games. Jalen Hurts is actually looking a lot better in recent weeks as an NFL quarterback. They started to utilize their run game a lot more, which has really benefited them, to be honest. Once Miles Sanders is healthy, I figure that they will rely on him heavily to get this offense going. And then that can really open things up for Jalen Hurts and this receiving game. So shout out to the Eagles. They could be trending upwards, in my opinion, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos, the 5-5 Broncos. Come on now. The week before this, they defeated the Dallas Cowboys, and they blew them out, essentially. But then they come out this week. They just don't look good. And actually, the team that blew them out was the Philadelphia Eagles. Why am I putting them above the Eagles? I mean, their record's better. They defeated the Cowboys. The Eagles lost to the Cowboys. There's talent there. Jerry Jeudy's back. I don't know. They're very neck and neck, in my opinion. And another team that's neck and neck with this Denver's Bronco team is, of course, the Carolina Panthers. I said in previous videos that these two teams seem to mimic each other most weeks. And their records prove that to be correct. They're both 5-5 teams. But the Panthers are coming off of a blowout win against the Cardinals. Well, the Arizona Cardinals practice squad, I should say. Yeah, they got the win regardless. I think they're actually in the playoffs right now, as it stands today. So that's interesting. So perhaps they shall start off this playoff hopeful tier. Congratulations to the Panthers. Above the Panthers, we have I almost said, a forbidden city for Raiders fans. I'm sorry. We have the Las Vegas Raiders. They lost this week to the Kansas City Chiefs quite badly. It was 41-14. They're now 5-4. They're past their bye week, so they will be playing football every week for the rest of the season. We'll see how they do. They could definitely fall down. They could definitely rise up. This is a weird team. New coaches after the Gruden situation. Just a lot of things happening in Vegas, so we'll see how it plays out for them. We'll see if it benefits them, if it's a detriment to them. Above the Vegas Raiders, we're going to throw the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings are a weird team. They have lost some close games to some great teams. They've beaten some good teams. They're just always in close situations. It's such a confusing team. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad. I remember early in the year, I put them way down here, but I was like, this is a team that I could see rising to be a playoff hopeful. And I think right now that's what they are. They're a playoff hopeful team. A lot of talent. Good coaching. In a weak division this season, so we'll see how they do. Above them, we're going to throw the San Francisco 49ers, who are coming off of a great win against the Rams. They had a lot of injuries. They're finally getting healthy. It really feels like they're coming together as a team. We'll see if they can pull off a nice run. I actually think that they can have a playoff run to become like a wild card team. I don't think they win the division over the Rams, but I do think that this team has potential. And they do play the Rams one more time this year. They are 5-0 in their last 5 matchups against the Rams. So they might have their number, man. Ahead of the Niners, we're going to throw the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a draw against the winless Detroit Lions. Not much to say about it. It was a weird game. The Steelers are still a decent football team. I mean, they're not bad. They have a good record, at least. They did beat the Bills earlier in the year, so wishy-washy team, just like the Vikings, in my opinion. And above the Steelers, a team with a worse record, actually. We'll go with the Indianapolis Colts. I think there's so much potential on this team. They're starting to utilize Jonathan Taylor the way that he needs to be utilized. Give him the ball, and you will win football games. Your defense is solid enough. Your quarterback is good. He just makes very odd decisions, to say the least. Carson Wentz just makes some weird throws, some weird decisions. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. Solves your problem. Next up, a team coming off the bye week. We got the Cincinnati Bengals. They went on a nice run early in the year. They were actually the 1 seed in the AFC a few weeks ago. They've lost some games since. Now they're coming off their bye week. A lot of young talent on this team. Joe Burrow at quarterback, throwing it to Jamar Chase. Still have T. Higgins in his young NFL career. Joe Mixon still out here, looking really good this year, actually. So Bengals are a solid team. I think they're playoff hopefuls for sure. The Cleveland Browns, another weird team. It's like they have great weeks and they have awful weeks. And is Baker Mayfield healthy? I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea. It's such a weird situation. Just throw Case Keenum in there, Browns. You'll get some wins, I promise. We're going up a tier, and to lead off the tier is going to be the New Orleans Saints. This is a team with a great defense, a not-so-great offense. They just lost Jameis Winston a few weeks ago. They got Simeon in quarterback. They got Hill at quarterback. What will they do? Will they keep splitting the touches at quarterback? I don't know. Alvin Kamara missed last week. They did beat the Bucs a few weeks ago. Of course, they lost this past week to the Tennessee Titans. It was a close football game. The Titans are one of the best teams in the NFL. So, no shame in that. Ahead of the Saints, we're going to throw the LA Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers. A team with a lot of potential, a lot of talent, but a team with a lot of potential. They have some weird weeks to where they just really, they're kind of like a boomer bust fantasy football team, but in real life, they're a boomer bust NFL football team. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. They have a good defense some weeks they don't. It feels like they lose to good teams for the most part. They're coming off a loss this week to the Minnesota Vikings, who, like I said, I'm not sure if they're a good team. But I don't think they're a bad team. But regardless, I think the Chargers are a team with a lot of high hopes for the second half of the season. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens coming off of a loss to the Miami Dolphins. The Ravens, they're going to be all right. You know, as long as Lamar Jackson is their quarterback, they're a playoff contender for sure. So, nothing to hang your head at. Just an off week for the Ravens. I think they'll bounce back. Really don't see them falling below this playoff run tier for the rest of the season, to be completely honest with you. So, next up, a team that has went from down here to up here. It is the New England Patriots. Earlier in the year, I had them ranked at 20-something, right? And I was like, it is so weird to see the New England Patriots down towards the bottom of the tier list. Whenever last season they had an off season, they have this rookie quarterback, but I said, I think they can turn things around. This is a young football team that will get better and better as the year goes, and you've seen that. You've seen this Bill Belichick-led team with a rookie quarterback just developing week after week. Mac Jones, he's going to turn out to be something great with Bill Belichick as his coach. These are guys that know how to win football games, and they're doing it right now. They have a great defense to help them out on the other side of the football. They're starting to put up massive points in some of these games. Man, don't be surprised when this team is a Super Bowl hopeful by the end of the season. Mark my words. And above them, we're going to throw the Kansas City Chiefs. They're back at it. They're looking great. I knew that they would figure it out. This is a team with a great offense. Their defense is looking a lot better as of late. Patrick Mahomes is looking a lot better as of late. Like the MVP Patrick Mahomes. They're getting all their offensive weapons spread around. Getting Travis Kelce back involved this week was great for them. Don't force feed it to Tyreek Hill, Patrick. Spread that ball around. If they don't give you the long ball, throw the short routes. Throw the check down. Get those yards. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming back soon. Yeah, this team is primed for a nice run, in my opinion. Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. They're going down a tier. I'm sorry. 2 losses in a row. This loss coming off the bye week. A week where I really thought they were going to bounce back from that loss a few weeks ago to the Saints. But no, they lost this week against the Washington football team of all teams. I mean, not much to say about that. 2-game losing streak. They can't be in this top tier. It just can't happen. I'm a little worried, but optimistic ultimately for the long run. I think this team will bounce back towards the end of the season, and they'll be all right. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams. They're going to go in the top tier still. They're coming off of a loss. Like I said, a lot of top teams lost this week. It's so strange. But the Rams, of course, this week, they played the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. They got blown out. It was a outlier performance for the Rams. I don't have much to say about the Rams. We know that they're talented, and we know that they're going to win a lot of football games this season. So, recently they acquired Von Miller. They recently acquired Odell Beckham Jr. So, I think this team is all right. Next up, the Buffalo Bills, a team that lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars a few weeks ago. They bounced back this week and routed the New York Jets, as they should. So much offensive firepower on this Buffalo Bills team. One of the best defenses in the NFL. They're sitting in top tier pretty, I think, for the rest of the season. They're a little lower because of that loss a few weeks ago to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but one of the best teams in the NFL, hands down. Next up, we'll throw the Arizona Cardinals. They're coming off of a loss this week to the Carolina Panthers. They didn't have Kyler Murray. They didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. You know, they have injuries galore right now. They'll be okay. Once they get Kyler back, hopefully they get D-Hop back soon. This team, they're a great football team. We see it, man. There's so much talent there. They play the Seattle Seahawks this week. We'll see how it goes. We're in the top 3 teams now. I think we're going to go Dallas at number 3. I'm sorry, Dallas fans. You're still number 3. That's pretty darn good. I would have put you maybe number 1 if you didn't lose to the Broncos a couple weeks ago. But they bounced back great. Blew out the Atlanta Falcons. The playoff-bound Atlanta Falcons, must I remind you. Yeah, man. Dak Prescott, my comeback player of the year. They look good. Their defense is a lot better this year than it has been in years past, so a lot of potential for this Dallas team. Now, we are in the top 2. At number 2, I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. I love this team. Without Derrick Henry, they just still cannot be stopped. Their defense has really done a 180 since earlier in this season. They're finding ways to pull out these games. They're 8-2, and they're solid all around. They're solid now. They're looking primed to win the AFC, but they're not quite number 1. At number 1, we're going Green Bay. They just shut out the Seahawks at Lambeau. It's about to get cold up in Wisconsin. That benefits this Green Bay team. Now, they did lose Aaron Jones, at least for a couple of weeks, but they have insurance. A.J. Dillon, one of the best insurance options in the NFL, and he had a game against the Seahawks. I think he will continue to have games. Aaron Rodgers is back from COVID. Their defense is playing pretty good. A little bit of an underrated defense, I'd say, in Green Bay. But ultimately, this is how my tier list looks. You know what? Should I change anything? No, I like it. This is my tier list for this week, going into week 11. I'm super excited for week 11. I wouldn't be surprised if we have more underdogs pulling off big wins against elite teams. Every single week, man, this thing changes. But until next time, I will see you all later. Thursday night football tomorrow night, we have the New England Patriots facing off against the Atlanta Falcons. And hey, man, keep an eye on this one because I have a feeling that this Patriots team is going to look incredible again. Thank you all for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Leave a comment below. If you have anything you would change, just leave a comment. Let me know. I'm down to hear y'all's opinions as well, man. This is a subjective tier list, so I'd love to hear y'all's opinions as well. Appreciate it. Everyone, until next time, deuces.